Well, hello, hello. Another beautiful day to draw and sketch. Well, let's see. We've got today is the 27th of May. Getting toward the end of the month here. And looks like we're back in business as I mentioned before. We have some disk space and we figured out the problem and we are working around it. Yes. So, well, let's see what we draw today. Let's see what's going on today. I like not knowing because then I'm going to be surprised too. Here we go. Well, let's see. We'll just make some lines. Hmm. Hmm. Well, let's see. Why does that look like somebody fiddling with something and they're happy about it? Hmm. He's putting on his tie. Is that what it is? Huh. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Doesn't it look like somebody's putting a tie on? Ah, interesting. So you see how a scribble, how you can start to see something inside of a scribble? See, I just started drawing, but you look at the scribble to see what is the image in the scribble. What does it inspire? You know, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to find what is it, what is that image, what is the image within that scribble inspiring you to draw, and then you come into it, see, and you start to look at it a little bit more specifically. Now, obviously, your ability to draw and construct factors into any and everything you do because, obviously, the better you draw, the more effective your drawings are going to be. Now, that's just, it's clearly obvious. So you're not starting at a place where there's stuff you don't know. You're starting at like you do know something about how line work strengthens your drawing and how placement of certain lines will create a certain effect. So of course you know that. As an artist, you know that the effect that you get when you make a drawing is going to be the sum total of everything that you have learned up to that point. And that's really obvious, of course. But there's a lot to be said for innovation and for discovery. So while you may know a lot of things, it doesn't mean that you can't always be freshly inventing or freshly finding out stuff as you're on your way to an answer or a solution to a drawing problem. You discover things along the way. And this is what I mean about not knowing what I'm going to draw being exciting to me. It is exciting to me because since I don't know, I can invent, and it's that invention that's the fun part because it's not planned, you know. So as I move forward through the drawing, certain things start occurring to me as I work. There's things that it's like, oh, that's a face, or that's a head, or that's a nose, or you know. And a lot of times I'm seeing it while it's happening. I didn't know it was going to happen. You know, and so that's fun for me anyway. It's fun. I mean, sometimes some stuff can be frustrating because maybe you see some of the image, but you don't see all of it because you don't really know how things are going to go until you get into something, get into a drawing, or get into a particular thing that you're trying to create. I remember the first time I started to draw from scribbles, and I remember thinking like, well, how do I know? Or if I start down a road on something in the drawing, it's like, what if it betrays me? What if I suddenly now I've got to figure out how to make this image work because it's not a complete thing. It's like it's not the idea I'm having isn't completed on the page. It's like I got to keep working that image until I get something that kind of works. So that then can be a frustration because then I don't know if I can pull it off. Um, and sometimes that is a very legitimate problem. Because there have been plenty of times where I found myself in that place where I'm thinking like, shit, how am I gonna pull this off now? It's like I know this is what I wanted to do, but the drawing isn't giving me what I want. It's not giving me the the easy solution there. I'm not seeing the drawing developing the way I want it to. You know, and you only know that as you get into it. So then what you start doing is you start cheating. You start trying to find ways to make the drawing work anyway. And that ingenuity that you have to develop is good because then now you're starting to invent solutions, and that's good too, because then, um, well, hopefully, hopefully, um, you master it. Hopefully, you do find the solution. Hopefully, it does work, or you can make it work. Hopefully, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you're just screwed, or sometimes you have to cheat your way through. I've done that plenty of times too, where I started in one direction and then I had to kind of add stuff to make it work, because it wasn't quite working, so then I'd have to kind of get back into the image and figure out, well, if I'm gonna make this guy look like he's got a hat on, and I gotta add some lines here so that the hat will look like a real hat, and you see what I mean, you know. So sometimes I had to cheat my way through to get what I wanted. But that's the way it goes. You find solutions. Let's see here. Let's see. We can do. Let's see. We'll do a soft lead on the shirt. Maybe. Yeah. So I put a shadow. I'm using an airbrushy effect on the shadow here. That's kind of fun. Yeah, there we go. And then let's see, what do I want to do with the pants? I don't know. Let's see. Let's go back to a solid line. So let's see. Oh, yeah, that's good. As I make the pants blue. So we gotta finish that off. Oh, there we go. That's interesting. Let's see. I wonder what else do I want to do with this here. Let's see. Hmm. I was going to put them in a room, but I can't think of what I want the room to look like. Hmm. I don't know. I was going to put somebody in here behind him. I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. You know what I should do is I should let you guys tell me sometimes what you want me to draw. Um, that's not a bad idea. Maybe what you might do is put in the comments something that you'd like to see me draw. Why not? I'm up for that. All right. Well then. Well, I guess we'll stop there then. Um, all right. Okay. Well, hey. I hope you enjoyed that. We had fun again. Always, take every opportunity you can to improve your drawing and work on it all the time. Work on it every day. Um, if you'd like one of my sketchbooks, I will once again put my blog spot, which shows the interior of my sketchbook, in the description, and you can order one from me. And all right, okay. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. And remember, Jesus is Lord.